how the best players in the game will actually play that one. And life coach versus Colento is something I would like to see like almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that. It's one of those, like, those two players, Colento alone, he's a powerhouse. He's been racking up tournament wins for a while, and Life Coach in 2015 has been doing amazingly well. Um, Not something we can say of every single player. Like, they've been really consistent. I know that recently Colento had a bit of a, how do you say that, a drought, I guess, in his results in the Archon Team League. Like, he had a really rough time, but it doesn't mean he's lost anything. It's just like, that one day he had to get a losing streak to compensate for all the other wins.
Yep, that's true. And right now, well, Firebat, I think he's on a really big streak when it comes to wins, right? Let me check the rankings right now, but I'm almost sure that he has like a really long streak of wins.
Yeah, we see the classes for the players, the classes they're going to be using. They're both using Hunter and Warlock, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but those two classes we expect to see, at the top or near the top of the metagame for pretty much ever, because their hero power really helps them do whatever they want. Like, whatever their game goal is as a deck, their hero power works with that. Whereas if you look at Patron and Warrior, for instance, they've got an amazing deck, but their hero power is kind of an extra thing. Like, they might prefer to have another hero power for the exact same deck. Whereas for Warlocks and Hunter, typically their hero power just does what it needs to, and then other decks will come in and out of the meta.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. That's what we were discussing before the game started. Like, the patron, like their hero power is completely irrelevant to the game plan of the deck itself, right? It can achieve only one thing and make you live longer, but it doesn't achieve the goal of the deck. So it doesn't draw you any cards. It doesn't deal any damage to the minions. That would be insane, right? If you can just like imagine Warrior with a hero power deal 1 damage to a creature.
Yeah. All right, so we're looking at a Hunter mirror match. These we've talked about are really interesting, especially when it comes down to like hybrid versus phase, or any type of like mix and match of Hunter archetypes. Those are really interesting.
And it seems like Firebat will be playing a mid-range one, but with explosive traps, which is interesting.
Could be hybrid, right?
Yeah, could be. Like there's so many cards you can use in one Hunter deck. Then it's all getting mixed up. Because you can use Hunter's Mark in phase 2 if you really want to, because that was one of the staples, like let's say Alpha Ego, right?
Yeah. I really like I feel like both players might be playing hybrid at this point. It's just that the edge goes to whoever has a 100 creeper for the first turn. I think dropping it on turn 1 is more impactful. Like in this case, Lostov threw away or put down the Leopardome on turn 1, but Firebat having the Haunted Creeper really gives him the edge as far as removing minions, and he's got a second Creeper and the Mad Scientist, so he's got what it takes to contest the board, even though both players have an amazing hand.
Yeah, and the Explosive Trap might be one of the most important cards here, because maybe it's not because of the effect itself, but the fact that it can be used as a bluff.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. Could be a snake trap, could be freezing, so you're going to play differently based on what you know. Now, I really like playing the Creeper here, because it'll clean up the 1/1s that come out of this Creeper that dies to the Leopardome. And, more importantly, it's going to allow you to curve still super well in the following turn with either Mad Scientist, Leper, or Animal Companion. So I'm really liking this decision here. Do you think he's going to play Animal Companion for a chance at Misha or Leok? Or is that...
If you play Mad Scientist and Leopardome,
you can clean up 1/1.
Yeah, and clean up 1/1. Let's think, how can you deal with a trap from your opponent? Like if you know that he has explosive traps, then playing those 2 minions might be kind of bad. But then you can't really assume that when you didn't see all the cards from your opponents in the less time. And if I recall correctly, Firebat didn't show the explosive trap last time. There was a situation with snake traps
where it didn't show up. Yeah, it didn't come up as a card that his opponent saw. So Firebastard is going to Hunter's Mark the Misha, which I think is probably one of the best targets he's going to get for a little while. Like even though sure you might want to keep that for high main, ultimately it's not necessary. You still want Iron Beak Owl, Kill Command for those. So.
Yeah, I think like you can sometimes you should just ignore Savannah.
Right.
You can build your board before turn 6, and when he drops Savannah, he practically loses a whole turn. And if you can find an easy way to stop Savannah in its tracks for like one turn, then you might just get the flow going
Yeah.
and just ignore the one big minion and win the game by racing.
I think you make a good point here. Like by turn 6, the race might have already started, and whoever is ahead on board might be able to just take it from there. It's just that we've seen comebacks. You play high main, the opponent starts the race, then you have, let's say, Unleash the Hounds. Then suddenly you're back in the game because you start cleaning up his board, and you're left with the high main that's not contested yet, to where the opponent has to answer. So it really depends on the state of the board by turn 6, but it's a definitely viable option. Like it's probably one of the most used ones, in fact.
Yeah, true.
And he's gonna go for the spider cleanup.
Okay, that's an interesting approach.
Afraid of the Houndmaster, it seems.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And both players are drawing Savannas.
Yeah, but Lostov is gonna be able to play it first, not being on the coin, and Firebat having used his coin already.
And Firebat doesn't have anything for turn 5 or 4 when it comes to creatures. So this puts him in an really awful spot. What about if you go face with both minions and play the explosive trap?
Yeah, he's still forced to start trading his stuff away, right? But you're just weaving in more damage. That's what I thought he would do, but he's opting for a...
Because I know if I would play the explosive trap, I mean the snake trap, I mean the explosive trap from the hand, I would bluff snake trap in this situation, right?
Oh, wow.
Holy
Oh man,
moly.
this is the most unexpected quick shot that I have seen in a while. He's gonna force his opponent to use his last bow charge on the minion, which I guess then really lets him play like get his mad scientist to survive. So I kind of like this play. I understand where he's coming from with it, but I'm not sure how much it's really gonna pay off.
Well, his hand is terrible in this situation, so he had to do something.
And Lostov with a doesn't want to get his bow charges, but he's just gonna clean up the board. Test for snipe. Because you never know when is snipe gonna show up in a tournament. Oh man, 420 no scope sniper. Oh, Houndmaster actually shows up. So Lostov was right to be somewhat afraid. This is a bit of a pesky Houndmaster. Did we see if he could play explosive trap? I didn't pay attention.
No, we didn't.
All right, so it is gonna be freezing, which is going to be good because his high main will at least be able to do something.
Yep, that Hyman now will actually do something.
Yeah, it's going to be very problematic because Firebat has no real good way to answer it. Like, he can't kill command with the beast on the board.
He has to go face with the Handmaster.
Yeah, he has to start to force Lostov to trade because unless Lostov has, like, double kill command, he's not pushing face.
Yep. The problem might be the freezing trap. Oh.
Actually, I kind of like that. The thing is, if it's freezing trap, then that's opening up a really big problem where the high main gets returned, right?
Well, you mean the Handmaster?
Well, no, you attack the Houndmaster with your high main, and then the high main from the opponent gets returned. So Lostov is, like, Firebat knows that if this is a freezing trap, then his high main gets returned.
No. The freezing trap was already popped, and that was Firebat attacking into the Mad Scientist.
Yeah, but I mean, by killing the Mad Scientist, Firebat knows that he's putting up a freezing trap, which will then return his high main, which is why I thought he was going to go face and force Lostov to start making trades.
Okay.
I think we're just talking about a different perspective there, but yeah. Ultimately,
I get you.
All right, so we'll see exactly what he does. Does he just push face or trade? Yeah, makes the trade as I think we expected.
Now he had to, because there will be the same situation with the Handmaster. Oh, look at that! He actually got one other way.
And there's a kill command though. So if you taunt up that high main and then kill command the high main,
you can go face.
Well, no, you don't, because there's a freezing trap. But
oh yeah, right.
You just wait one turn and then force him to either trade everything into your high main, have the Iron Beak Owl, or otherwise you return your Houndmaster again and replay it. So Firebat is actually not in that bad of a spot with that pickup.
So what about if you kill the Handmaster with the kill command? Does this make any sense? You play the Handmaster, you kill command the other Handmaster, so he can't trade into Savannah.
But he'll use his own Savannah.
Yeah, yeah, but
So I guess
still.
ultimately you're wiping both. My thought was you kill command his high main, so that he has to trade away 2/2s, and then those are developed for explosive trap. But I guess it's actually going to end up in a very similar manner either way. Like you're going to end up with a somewhat clean board. And the R&B cowl here from
Oh my
Lostov.
God. Well, this is game, right?
Yeah, you punch face and you let him deal with it, right?
Yeah,
This is it.
that's like the best draw that could have been drawn by Lostov. I don't think
Yeah,
there's anything better.
Firebat. Well, I mean, Hunter's Mark would have done something almost as good, but this is better. And the thing is, Firebat knew one of those cards was a mad scientist since it got returned. So Lostov here really getting the top deck he was looking for. And I think at this point he wants to start pushing face, or is he? Or do you think he's gonna make a trade anywhere?
I don't think he will make a trade. Like he's at 23, so if he pushes for 12, 13, 15 damage this turn, I think that's enough just to win the game next turn.
Yeah. Do you think he's not afraid of Unleash yet? Because I think it would have been played if
Yeah, it would have been played already.
a long time ago if he'd had it. Now it's all about what he's gonna do with that Houndmaster and that Creeper. I think he's still debating, and I can't fault him for that.
Wait, there's a freezing trap out, right? So you have to kill the Houndmaster.
No, there's no freezing trap out at the moment.
Oh no,
There's one on your own
no,
end,
wait.
but
No, what's the trap on
there's no
Lostov's
trap for
position?
Firebat.
I mean for
Firebat
Lostov.
oh, it's a freezing. Yeah, that's a freezing.
Yeah, so that's why he traded for the Houndmaster.
Yeah, you can't let it return to the hand and then
Mm-hmm.
taunt up the high main again. Well, Firebat, at least he's got his kill command, but without the Unleash the Hounds, this is a really tough spot to recover
Well,
from.
he has the explosive trap.
Yep.
I don't know
He's
what
still
other
alive, right?
traps. I don't know what the other traps are, but you can kill the high main, go face with your high main, and kill the hunted creeper maybe.
Yeah, use Mad Scientist to kill the creeper, then you just go full face and start racing with your bow. Because, like, Firebat's bow here might be a determining factor in who wins the race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Firebat's not out of it yet. Like, he might be behind
Yeah,
on the
wait.
race, but it's...
He can't pop the hunted creeper because he has to sacrifice the mad scientist for that with the freezing trap.
Right.
Totally forgot about the trap. And yeah, but you have to play your explosive trap and the bow because that's what will win you the game here.
Yeah, it's just punching face with his high main and the bow is what could make him win the race. Even if he gets the 2 1-1s back, I don't think Firebat's too worried about that. Hence why he didn't bother killing it. Ooh.
Freezing trap. Well, this might be useful if there will be like Archon Golems, because then you can't replay it until turn 10.
So here, from Lostov's perspective, you've got to make trades, right?
You have to kill the Savannah and hero power and play the freezing trap, and that's basically it. Because currently, you are not winning if you will pop the explosive trap.
Yeah, you actually, like, if he pops Explosive Trap, he actually stands to lose. Whereas if he just lets it there and start pew-pewing away, he's still ahead even with the bow up.
Exactly.
So it's going to be like a 2 health advantage.
Because of that, explosive trap will boost the bow with 1 durability, which is in essence free damage.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Ooh, and now this is...
It's not over yet, but let's just say this is really painful. What is that trap here from Firebat?
Snake trap.
I mean, from
would say.
Lostov. Okay,
Yeah,
so it
snake
is.
trap.
That's never going to get triggered unless Unleash, even with Unleash. Like, I don't see...
So Unleash now, nope, would save the Savannah High main from freezing trap. And if he wants to use the weapon, this is the time when you want to use the weapon. Well, maybe actually you want to pop the Mad Scientist and the Web Spinner too. So yeah, maybe you just want to drop both.
Yeah,
and then
you
attack
force
face.
him to. Yeah, you force him to have like all the minions to remove your stuff. Because if one of them gets the freezing trap and the high main doesn't, then that's a very, very different outcome. Could Firebat attack phase here and just trigger the freezing to replay it on the following turn? Because you know his 1/1 and his 2/2 live through the 1/1s that Lostov has. So Firebat can still win because the Mad Scientist or the Web Spinner might live. It's just really about whether or not he thinks that's likely.
I don't think that's correct when you can draw one of the 2 Unleash the Hounds, or if you like play a Wolf Rider or Archon Golem.
Right. You're right. Make a good point here. If it's a hybrid deck, then he might have those chargers that will enable... Or, you know, you just play Animal Companion, get the Huffer, and be done with it.
Yeah, true. And now, well, Lostov with that low tap.
I mean,
I
you have to
guess
smash it. The thing is,
now we lose the game.
like, if you kill the 1/1, you're still dead to high main. If you kill the 2/2, the high main still kills you. So how do you get out of this, really? Like, he had to kill both minions. The only out he really had was to kill both and then pick up, like, a kill command on the following turn or something. Like, he knows he's out of this, and he's not going to
Yeah.
make the game last any longer. So Firebat's going to take it against all
Wow.
odds. Lostov playing to the explosive trap really, really punished him.
Yep.
That was really painful to watch.
That was the deciding moment of the match.
Right.
It was really a tough call to make because it's really easy when you see the trap, right? But in Lost of situation, I don't know if it was correct. Like,
He didn't test for the other ones by attacking into high main because he might have been afraid that it was snake trap. But I mean, we'd have to ask him what he thinks he might have misplayed on, because from our perspective, it's obviously a blunder. But we also see we have all the information. So with perfect information, this game is like, much easier to play. It's
well, I'm sure that he was watching Firebat's matches from the previous rounds.
Right.
But I still can't remember if he actually was using the explosive traps. So this might be one of the reasons why Lostov didn't trade first.
Right, or just test with like mad scientists. So apparently Firebat is going to be playing his mage, and Lostov is going to go for his hunter again. The cameras might be inverted, but keep in mind Lostov is the hunter player. So Firebat here
icon.
playing freeze mage. It seems one of the few players who really loves his freeze mage. Not everybody does, but he's among the few.
And he has actually a really good opening hand.
Yeah, but
Well,
so
both
does
players
Lostov, right?
Yeah.
Lostov is looking at a really good hand too. So, do you keep Lepronome for like that Flame Strike lethal where he can't wipe the board, or do you just play it here and force the mage to put down a minion that just dies? This is a pretty good matchup for the mage player if he can find the 2 ice barriers and maybe the heal bot.
I think you can't really drop Knife Juggler because of the looming loot hoarders and mad scientist, because that's an awful trade. So,
but the thing is, I mean, mad scientist is a bit of a problem, but if it's loot hoarder, then you're gonna be okay.
it's still bad because you do only 3 damage with one of your minions. I don't know.
Oh, what is Lostov?
kinda weird.
Oh, double 1-drop here for Lostov.
I would rather see Haunted Creeper than one, instead.
Double juggler. Man, he's going all in. This is it.
Yeah, but look at that. If that will be a loot hoarder or a mad scientist, and you will have a Haunted Creeper on board, your Knife Juggler might win the game.
You know what? This opener here, the juggler turn 1 with the coin and the juggler turn 2 has to be called like the Prince Che opening. It's like the perfect name. And if you don't know who Prince Che is, Google it, guys. It's you'll get the reference. So is that ice barrier or ice block? I think he really wants it to be an ice barrier.
For sure. That's the better draw against the Hunters.
Against hunters, it's the one thing you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You've got time for ice blocks, really, which is.
Yep. Exactly.
Somebody was making a post about that on Reddit recently. He said, how there are chess openings, like really common chess openers. Why don't we have like names for Hearthstone openers, right? Like the Lepronome coin Lepronome called like the douchebag or whatever.
What about double Vorgan Infiltrator?
Oh man, I don't know what I'd call that. Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. That's what I call it. All right, so we've got the ping on the juggler. So over 2 turns, that second juggler died. So it wasn't too bad, and it was the ice barrier, and he's picked up an Arcane Intellect in the meantime, which is going to be pretty sweet for him. It's going to allow him to cycle as fast as he wants, and still weave in a ping on turn 5. So again, Firebat with a really decent hand still.
Mm-hmm. Freezing Trap and Hero Power this in? I don't know if you want to...
I like that. I actually like that. Because it's actually allowing you to weave in again that 1-drop a bit later when you might need it more, even on turn 5, and it's forcing the mage to ping the Lepronome and you still keep the creeper, so you have a chance to get the Houndmaster. I really like that. I think you're spot on.
And it's also like it's also really better to have the Lepronome in your hand in case you will have a better turn 5, like let's say a 3-drop and a Hero Power, right? So you have that Leopardome for the turn when you can checkmate your opponent with AoE stuff, when he can pop the block with it. When he can actually pop the block during
Right.
his turn, right? But he opts for the, I would say, less aggressive play, to be honest. You know?
I mean, it's less aggressive in the immediate sense, but it's more aggressive in the longer term sense. The problem is that Cone of Cold will really come in handy soon for Firebat. I mean, it's not like every freeze mage runs Cone of Cold.
Yeah,
Like, let's be
definitely.
realistic. It's like a one of in some people's list, but not in everyone's. So, yeah, he's got a really decent hand here.
So Mad Scientist, Hero Power, 10, 6, 7 high main. There's like nothing to think about even.
Yeah, it looks like a
But
pretty
for my-
straightforward play, but it's so weak to Cone of Cold here. We know it is, but you have to trade your Leopardome if you don't want to run into that. But then second Ice
think-
Barrier.
I think you should trade it anyway, because of the problems like that might be caused by the Mad Scientist into Hunted Creeper. You lose your 2 points of damage because of that. Well, basically it's the same outcome if you trade the Leopardome. So maybe not so important.
Right.
But you will have 2 more minions, which require attention from the mage.
The thing is, like, the attention is really marginal at this point because you're in the range, like, from your perspective, you're in the range where the AoE starts falling down. So those little 1/1s really don't do too much. So it seems like he's picked up an Ice Block here from the Mad Scientist instead of the second Ice Barrier. So he will be desperate to find the second one.
Acolyte of Pain. Well, this might help him with searching
Yeah.
for that ice block.
Double Loot Hoarder.
Double Hoarder. Yeah, this is better, way better option because hunters don't have an easy way to deal 1 damage unless it's an Legion Hound. And this
Yeah.
is an easy turn, just drop Savannah. Maybe trade for one of them.
Would you? I don't think I would because he's gonna trade them anyway. Unless your high main, you really want your high main to live.
You play Snake Trap, right?
Yes, that's right. There's one in Lostov's deck. There's a Snake Trap and 2 Freezings. So I mean, you could trade the Mad Scientist and play high main. You're right. I like that.
Then your opponent doesn't know if that's freezing or Snake Trap, and he has to like play the odds. Because with Blizzard, he will still give you 2 damage next turn with your 200 creepers, right? And I mean the Spectre Spiders. And if it's Snake Trap, then you have an easy damage, I would say.
Yeah, so he's gonna opt for just trading both minions away, which
Okay.
again, I guess it makes sense. I don't know. I'm not sure if it does. Trading the creeper as well, but we'll have to see. So
Whoa!
that is really an honest play. Firebat is gonna try to slow down the hunter immediately, but that Iron Beak Yowl is just gonna say, you know what? I don't really care, and I'm gonna keep punching face here.
Well, what's the trap? Why would you play Antonidas into a freezing trap?
Maybe he's trying to force Lostov to pop the high main and the 1/1 into it.
I have no I don't think any hunter player might actually trade into Antonidas.
No, but the thing is,
His
you
minions.
keep in mind, if this 5/7 doesn't die, the hunter just gets frostbolted and ice lance and eventually dies. So the hunter has to handle it. However he does it, he has to handle it. And the Iron Beak Yowl is one of the few ways in which you don't trade away your minions yet still handle the Antonidas.
I'm still analyzing this situation. Like the other options for Firebat were Fireball the Savannah High main and Frostbolt something.
I mean, I think Cone of Cold is Firebat's only freeze. Like, he was really looking to find a Blizzard or Flame Strike by this stage of the game, but he still hasn't found either of them. But, you know, Lostov's not going to fall for it. He's just going to try to pop the block as fast as he can. He did a little bit of math on the block popping, and he figured if I... Well, he thinks...
Wait, what?
So that's a Snake Trap? I mean, it has to be, right? Like, why would you do that otherwise? MC Tech. Playing around the freeze
Why would
mage
you?
MC Tech.
Oh yeah,
value.
yeah, right. So it has to be Snake Trap. Yeah,
Yeah.
because now there will be no space for the second Savannah. I mean, for the second Hyena.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I kind of get it, but it's funny. The thing is, at this point, Lostov is not really worried about anything. The only thing that really slows down his win is a second ice block. Because once he pops the first, like, he can just use his hero power until, like, from now on to eventually win. Now, Firebat might be trying to just push for damage. Like, he doesn't have enough. With the double Frostbolt Ice Lance, with the Blood Mage Thalnos, he could be close enough to justify it.
Bluff. No.
He's just gonna Cone of Cold and try to delay the inevitable.
Yep. Well, he has to find a ice barrier as soon as possible. So I'd say that this is the turn when he wants to use the Frostbolt to the face to also cancel any damage from the weapons.
Yeah, and I really like what Firebat's doing here. He's going on the offensive, knowing that if his opponent doesn't pick up very specific cards, he should be fine. And Lostov still can't pop the ice block. Sure, he can kill some of the stuff on the board, but it's not quite.
It doesn't
where
really
he
make
wants
any
it yet.
sense. I think you just play high main and hero power.
Yeah, wide play Unleash here really doesn't achieve much, right?
Yeah, it doesn't achieve much. You can only use it to trade for the Thalnos, but that doesn't achieve much anyway, because your opponent played that Thalnos most likely for the draw, because he's really low and he needs that ice barrier or ice block as soon as possible. I mean, the second one, second ice block or the second ice barrier.
What to do?
But if you play Savannah High Main, don't you risk not having enough unleashes if you get frozen again to pop the block next turn?
Move now.
Like, because the
so.
Thanos might get sacrificed. I mean, at this point, Firebat is still going to keep going on the offensive. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to stop. With that ice block on the back end, I don't think he's worried about a thing.
That's a good draw.
Well, it doesn't matter, though. It's irrelevant at this point. He's won the game with a Fireball, Ice Lance, Frostbolt, so...
Never mind, I forgot about the spell power.
No, Lostov really had to pick up, like, from his perspective, he really needed to pop the block, but Firebat already had the lethal sitting in hand. So, you know that Archmage didn't matter for the Fireballs, but it mattered for the body, and maybe that's what Lostov failed to realize as much as he should have, because he didn't trade into it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's what Firebat wanted.
Firebat played that perfectly, I would say.
I would actually agree with you, like, wholeheartedly here. I really like Firebat's Freeze Mage play. So that's going to mean Firebat... wait, what? Are they 1-1, really? No, okay, 2-0, okay.
2-0.
There was a little bit of a glitch in my head right there. I was like, wait, is Lostov the Freeze Mage? Because that was brilliant. So Firebat's going to be playing the Warlock next against any of Lostov's decks in a Conquest format, best of 5. What do you think Lostov's going to pick here against Warlock?
Is there a difference? I think just go with whatever floats your boat. Because
Yeah, but like, if you can if you can at least go 2-2 with Firebat, right? Like, if you can do that, you were really close to getting the...
Then you just pick Hunter, because that's the most hated class for Warlocks, right? But I just wanted to go back for a second to Firebat's play of the Antonidas on 10-7, right? Because I thought it was kind of a bad decision, but I have to say, like, Firebat knows its matchups better than me, apparently, and of course, this was the better choice. So the more aggressive option, I think, is almost always the better choice in most matchups, but I'm just, like, not familiar enough with Freeze Mage to actually know when to switch tempo yet. And as you can see, Firebat is the expert in that field, so really, really well played at the 10-7 by Firebat.
There's a few players that I really like when they play Freeze Mage. There's Dog, Firebat, and I think Hyped. Those are the three, like, my top 3 Freeze Mage players. There's not that many players who actually stick to the deck as much as I'd like. Oh my god, Firebat's hand is slow.
Yeah, it is slow, but it's not that bad, I would say. 10-3 Imp-Gang Boss, 10-4 Void Caller. Even if you will be dealt a lot of damage, you can still win by just playing your Mal'Ganis. And somehow you have to bait out the first Owl. But wow.
Yeah,
Two
I mean,
freezing traps. No, that's not winnable at all.
This is going to be very difficult for Firebat, because it will really lock down his board with those freezing traps. There's a snake trap as well. Bane of Doom could make miracles. You know, we've seen that happen before.
Yeah, but with double freezing traps, I would say this is the most important aspect of this game. Like, you don't worry about the Warlocks, because they have no charge minions apart from Doom Guards, and Doom Guards being frozen, it's just like a perfect dream, right? So I would say the freezing traps are the MVPs right now.
Yeah. Did you see yesterday's match between Stilo and Forsen?
No, I didn't.
You didn't
What
catch?
happened?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a summary, okay? Forsen
Yep.
got obliterated, and here's why. Stilo had a full board with 2 Void Callers and 2 Doom Guards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Forsen was playing Freeze Mage, and he Flame Striked everything. And the 2 Doom Guards came out. Oh, that was
Oh.
beautiful.
Well, you spent 7 mana to upgrade your opponent's creature with a rampage. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
No, almost rampage. If it's like a Valen's Chosen without the spell power.
Alright, so Lostov here still... I mean, what does he do? Because now the Freezing Trap is not nearly as threatening. He's still, like, how do you play this turn? Because not having a beast denies the kill command that you might have wanted to use.
Do.
Silence and Void Color, trade both minions, go and hero power. You don't need your minions to win this matchup. You just need to wave in the hero power each single turn, and that's how
So-
you win.
What you do is you basically just force your opponent to have to play around. You basically play around, Defensive Argus. It's like one
Yeah.
of the best outs, and Bane of Doom maybe a little
Well,
bit.
you can't really play around Defensive Argus, especially when you have 2 freezing traps. So you have to like just go with the most risky routes. And if your opponent has the Defensive Argus, then most likely will lose anyway.
Now.
Because the Defensive Argus can just lock down the whole board with just one
What to do.
little swing.
Well,
you know?
would you consider just pushing face here? Like you silence the Void Caller, then you attack face?
That might also be an option.
Because it's much more aggressive, right? But at the same time, you know, that's also pretty cool. That is also pretty cool. Using that quick shot as removal.
Yeah, well, I would rather see the quick shot being used as a removal for your opponent's hero. You know? Because you have kill command and a quick shot, that's 6 damage.
Yeah.
So even with a...
Oh
that's
man, that's a good one.
good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Defensive Argus.
Might have been better, but still, look at that, 2 kill commands.
Okay, no, you have to start pushing face. Oh man, if he kept that quick shot for face, it
Yeah,
might have been like
that's what I meant.
a hero kill right there. Oh man.
That's what I meant. Because now you're lacking also a beast for that kill commands. Oh. It's still 6 damage though.
It's not over. Yeah, I mean, he's got 6 damage in hand, plus another 2 from hero power. He can start weaving those in whenever he feels like it. Firebat doesn't have healing at the moment, and unless he's playing some kind of... Unless he gets Mal'Ganis out exactly when he needs to, he might be dead by the time he gets to pull it off.
It's 10-6. I don't think there will be an easy way to get the Mal'Ganins out after you lost your first Void Color. But now, this is a really, really great turn for Firebat to play that Defensive Argus. Doesn't make any difference. Well, it can kill 1. Now you just have to hero power, and that's what I was talking about. If you would play the hero power on turn 4 with trading your minions, you basically have more. You basically have more reach, bigger reach for your opponent's face, even with taunted minions, because you would still have the quick shot, and your minion wouldn't have like matter at all. So you just lost like 3 damage. Because
Yeah,
of that.
exactly. The minions
quick
don't really matter too much. So I think pushing for damage would have been maybe the more aggressive play. So he might play Unleash and go for some kind of kill command shenanigans.
I think it's unleash, kill command, face, and you don't attack with anything. Then you push your opponent to use his Defensive Argus to get him pop right back into the hand with the Freezing Trap, and you most likely will still have 1 beast on board for the next kill command next turn, which is 5-7 damage with hero power, so he will be at 2.
What about
For the
Snake
next
Trap?
turn.
Like I really like this triggering Snake Trap, and then you get 4 hounds. Again,
Oh, yeah, right,
another.
Snake
It
Yeah,
still
that-
leaves you with one hound at the end.
I'm forgetting about this thing.
Yeah, so he's gonna weave in as many hero powers as he can, but he's not going to keep a beast. So if those get attacked, it will spawn snakes. So there's a chance that Firebat just gets snaked, I guess.
Well,
You know, I really like the play the Lostov made, because he knows that Firebat has to start making trades, but at the same time, he knows that Firebat doesn't want to do that at all. And now those snakes are going to be really painful for Firebat to deal with, because they will enable kill command, and because he's not going to be able to play Mal'Ganis on time, those 2 kill commands will add up to 12 over the course of a few turns. So unless Firebat picks up some crazy burst, actually Dr. Boom and Sea Giant might be exactly that.
I don't
Actually,
think.
Defensive Argus is likely to be replayed. Makes too much sense. Not
Yeah. Giant and Defensive Argus.
Yeah.
And that's how much damage for now. For next turn. You have like 11... Well, your opponent will kill some of the creatures, so at least the 2/2 will be dead. And you
Yeah.
will have 9...
He needs Power Overwhelming to go with the Doomguard, and then I think there's a chance.
Wait, so you kill the 2/2. And you kill the 1/3 Voidwalker. You kill Command the Face. Double kill Command the Face. Actually, because you want to have him...
You could kill Command Face and Hero Power, and that would still be 7, and then you could kill Command Hero Power again to win. The thing is, you want to get those kill commands out, I think, as fast as you can, because if Lotheb falls down and you haven't used them...
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Like, there's one thing that can shut it down if you keep the one kill command in your hand. And this is actually the Lotheb. And we saw... I think we actually cast this match together when Firebat lost a match because he didn't do exactly that move. He had 2 kill commands in his hand and he opted for 1 kill command with hero power instead of 2 kill commands this turn. I think that was in KPL.
Yeah, no, it happened before. And Lotheb just shut it down. Actually, it happened to, who was it? Ivan, I think, who played in Vulcan recently. If I'm not mistaken, the MTG winner.
Mm-hmm.
Does Firebat have a healing? No, he can't even life tap. So 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yo, he's at 24 damage. If he had played Dr. Boom last turn with the Giant...
What have he played?
I don't know. All I'm looking at here is that I think he's just like 2 off lethal or something. It's really close.
Yeah, you might actually be right. If you would play the Dr. Boom last time, he might have won.
Oh man, Firebat's gonna life tap into the Power Overwhelming, the bittersweet draw, so close yet so far. Firebat's gonna lose a game to Lostov's Hunter, so Lostov is still in this. He has 2 more wins to get back to back for a possible reverse sweep, and if he pulls it off, that is gonna be epic.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he has a really hard task in front of him, but it's still doable. It's like it's not like we didn't see it before, right?
Yeah, like it's happened. Some people have pulled off crazy reverse sweeps, so it's not like unheard of. But
I still remember the Tice versus Stripe Crow in King of the Hill when he was actually 3-0 down and then he went 4-3.
4-3, yeah, back like directly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just insane with the Druid comeback.
Days.
Speaking of Druid.
Yeah, there it is. It's not exactly a good matchup to go up against a Zoo player, but hey.
But you have an Innovate, and you have a Zombie Chow, which is not bad against Warlock, and you have a Force of Nature, which is also not that bad, I would say.
Yeah.
Druid of the Claw is a great counter to M-Gang boss, so definitely keep that with the Innovate, but the Savage Roar is just not the thing you're looking for in your opening hand.
Yeah, it depends on what Firebat's start looks like. I mean, we saw the Imp Gang boss in his starting hand. Oh, he's got it. Like, Firebat's got a good start.
Yeah,
but,
he has a really great start.
There's one thing that the in-crowd comic from Temple Storm taught me is that zombie chows deal very well with creepers.
Ooh, look at that Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, I don't know what a curve is, but this looks like one.
Lostov has to draw a Big Game Hunter or a Keeper as soon as possible, because that Void Color on turn 4 will give him a massive headache. That's like, imagine turn 5, he will be playing the Void Color on turn 4, attack into whatever creature, even if he doesn't have 4 attack, he will just Bane of Doom his own Void Color to get it out. And on turn 3, the played on turn 3 Immigrant boss will probably spawn additional 1 creature, so they will be buffed by the Mal'Ganis on turn 5. And it actually might be double Mal'Ganis from the Bane of Doom too.
Yeah, sure. RNG this, ladies and gents.
It's not that like
it's not impossible.
No?
Yeah, it's happened before. It's just that. Well, I mean, it's pretty uncommon. It's just not unheard
How
of.
uncommon is that? You know, I done that 2 times at the same day on ladder while I was streaming.
All right, give me a quick moment. I'll be right back. You can go on with the game. I'll be right back.
The door is ringing. Now we can. Well, let's see. The perfect counter to the Immigrant boss is the Druid of the Claw. So you can play Druid of the Claw, attack into the 1/1, and leave the 4/6 Druid up. And I think that's the best option. Other options is just to play Harrison Jones, and then you can play Druid of the Claw on turn 4, which is not that bad either. But if you play Harrison Jones, then you can't really do anything about protecting your zombie chow. So definitely playing Druid of the Claw in taunt mode is the best option that turn. For Firebat, that's an easy turn. You just drop the Void Collar and pass the turn. Easy choice.
All right. So apparently Firebat hasn't changed his plays up until now.
No, there's no way he can change anything here. Like the one thing that can change his plan is drawing a Void Walker next turn. Because then, if
maybe
he
opts for
Walker,
Implosion and
yeah, exactly what I wanted to say. Then, if you draw Void Walker, then you drop Void Walker and Implosion. If you don't draw any demon, you can use your Void Collar and the Bane of Doom that turn.
Wait, do you like? There's as much as we've we've mentioned the fact that Savage Roar is pretty bad. It's one of the few ways in which Lostov can actually handle that Mal'Ganis.
But not this turn, and next turn it might be too late because the in-game
Yeah, the
boss,
Bane of Doom, the Implosion, all of this is just going to be such a pain. If you, the thing is, it's kind of like that Mal'Ganis is chaining into so many wrong things for him right
Look at
now.
that.
Oh god.
There will be Implosion next turn because you will sacrifice for Mal'Ganis, right? So the Implosion will spawn 3/3 minions.
Is he playing around Bane of Doom and trading right away into the? No, he's not.
No, he's not. So now let's think about it.
Well, that's gonna be a pain. Like you can just trade away, then you Bane of Doom. You have a 1/1 left over to kill a zombie Chow, and you're left with.
I don't think you want to play Bane of Doom. What if you just play Implosion? You play Implosion on. Let's think. If you Implosion for 4, then there's no big difference on the target. If you Implosion...
I would play Bane of Doom most of the time. But Implosion with the 3/3s is such a big problem against Druids. The thing is, if they have Swipe and they somehow have... Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the 6%. Like, one of the 5 options which can actually win the game almost instantly, and that was one of the 10s. Like,
that's unfair. He's not immune to healing. That's a pretty good draw, though.
Yeah, it is. Now we can kill the Mal'Ganis, but Doomguard still stands, and it will be actually 5/3.
So you have to Wrath that Mal'Ganis. Hope he doesn't have Defensive Argus. Actually, no, wait. Could you just play Savage Roar, Hero Power, and then... Or just Hero Power Pass, or kill the Imp. Then you play Swipe Wrath next turn on the Mal'Ganis. And then that's like your only way of really swinging back in.
I think you just swipe Mal'Ganis this turn to deny the free attack.
And you pray that no Defensive Argus ever shows up.
Oh my god!
Oh, Lothar, what have we done, Lothar? We are jinxing this. So you play your egg, then you Implosion your egg. Or you just play Defensive Argus and actually be done with it. You got like 2 choices.
You have to Defensive Argus the Mal'Ganis, that's for sure. But I think you Defensive Argus also the egg. So you keep your Doomguard still up with 7/3 because it doesn't really change if it has like 7/4.
You're preventing like 2 minutes from dying and you're hitting for 18, so you have like lethal next turn. For Lostov to win, he basically has to not draw this. Yeah, I mean, even then, I don't even know what to say, man. Poor Lostov just got walked over by the Zoo deck. That's Demon Lock, rather, not even Zoo.
This is how we win with Bane of Doom. That's what we were talking before the broadcast. Like, Bane of Doom has 5 options of making such a huge impact on the board that you can instantly win the game.
Yeah, and it's also limiting, as we spoke of, like a little bit. It's limiting the design space of demons to where, as you mentioned, you can't make small demons that are too good because then Zoo becomes insane, and you can't make bigger demons that are too good because then Bane of Doom picks up in value over time to the point where it almost becomes like a tier 1 card, and it's already kind of there. So,
yeah, definitely agree with you here, and. That was a entertaining game. This is why Hearthstone is so popular to watch, you know? Because if it's really awesome to see that kind of games, right?
Yeah.
But it's super awful when you're the other player.
Yeah, but you know what's good is like when you watch people squirm for you, like in their seats, they're kind of like, oh god, no, not this again. Like watching Forsen yesterday, they playing his Flame Strike and thinking, hey, this is gonna go super well, and then double Doomguard comes out of the Void Callers. Like watching his face was actually entertaining. Like I'd rather do that than play. So I mean, honestly, Hearthstone is amazing to watch. So those tournaments, I mean, they're just great for that.
Yeah. And that's it for the first match. And then we'll be jumping shortly into the Colento versus Life Coach.
The craziest
Star
match. This is gonna be
Star.
just insane.
If that will be an evening, I would say this is the match of the evening. But
I mean, the matchup of the tournament, Colento versus Life Coach. And the fun thing is, they might still, like, whichever of them loses, right? There's a chance that they can still climb back because this is a best of 5 conquest format. And there's a loser's bracket. So if players lose here, they have to lose twice before they're actually knocked out. Because then they get thrown to the loser's bracket. They have a chance of climbing back up into the grand finals. So whoever loses here, like Lostov is not out of it. It looks like he's out of it if you've watched, and he lost to Firebat, but he might still get there. So it's not quite over. And if Colento or Life Coach loses, we might still see either or both of them in the grand finals again. So that's, again, really exciting. Loving it.
good point. Good point.
All right, guys. So we'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, it's gonna be the match you've all been waiting for all your life. Colento Life Coach. Don't go anywhere.